won't. Hang on. Right. Can you hear and see me now? It's because I turned my mic off on my, because I have my computer turned off and use the mic on my phone, so I don't get no feedback. Right. So are we all good? Let's see, my Facebook's froze. I've got absolutely nothing going on my Facebook. So, oh dear. How terrible. Sorry, people. Do apologise. It's gone funny. It went funny again at lunchtime. I'm going to have a look at it all the internet and everything. And
What are you doing?
what am I'm live, yeah. No, I've sorted it now.
I'll see you in a bit.
Okay.
Anything?
Okay. Right. So today, it's not my. I know, it's just annoying, isn't it? You know, it's. I mean, I get annoyed the fact that you pay for a service and I pay business. They know I've got it for my business. And you don't get what you pay for. So, yeah. Right. So we're carrying on with our Capturing Smiles bundle. That's in my face. And today Hayden gave me a colour combo to use. He looked through the colour coach and gave me a colour combo. So let's swap our camera. And he gave me Melon Mambo, Pretty in Pink, and Peach Pie. So we're going to see what we can make with those. Oh, excuse me. Now, peach pie, as you probably know, I'm not a peach pie person. I don't go to peach pie at all. But for today, we are. And I love Pretty in Pink. And I quite like Melon Mambo. Again, it's not a colour I gravitate to. But together, I actually think they look quite nice. Very summery. Full of warmth, which we need today because it's not as warm today, is it? We had a beautiful day yesterday. In fact, I went to a garden centre and it was that hot in with the plants. It was ridiculous. We had to come out. But today I made this. So we heat emboss in white and we watercoloured with our ink, and then we made a fun watercolour splash background and popped them on there. So I thought we'd do along the same lines, but with a scrapbook page. So, first of all, let's drink my tea before it goes cold. And I've got my wire for my phone hanging down because I took it off and put it back on. So let's tie that up because we don't want that going off. Right, so let's get rid of that. So I'm going to start with a piece of basic white. Now you can use basic white, white willow, whichever you prefer. I've got basic white. And I'm going to be using today. Hello, Michelle. Oh, you missed it. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, it took a little bit longer than normal, didn't it, today? We ran over a bit. But yeah, I was really happy with it in the end. Right. So I'm going to be using a 4x6 and a 3x4. And I'm going to be using some strips of papers. Now, I have brought in, like I did on the card, Secret Sea instead of black, just to bring in that grounding colour. And I think the Secret Sea is that little bit softer than the black. So out of the Florals in Bloom, I've just grabbed this paper. as well. So we're going to use a bit of that. But first of all, I want to do some colour splashing and that around. So I'm going to bring my glass mat in because I don't want to get it all over my desk and then I can't get it off my desk. So we'll bring the glass mat. There we go. Can just fit the 12 by 12 on screen. I'm going to grab my water. And I'm going to use the large brush. Now we've got to be careful not to put too much water down on here because it is only basic white. It's not watercolour. And I want to use two colours. And because I'm not a fan of peach pie, I was going to use the other two. But I think I do need to use peach pie because the other two are too similar. So I'm thinking peach pie and melon mambo for our blotchy background. And if we've got enough in there, no. So give that another squeeze just to make sure we've got plenty of ink in that lid. There we go. So we want some water in there. That under there, just to hold it up. Mix that in. And then I'm just going to do a real swoosh. Add a bit more water. Just so that it'll run a little bit. That'll be underneath where our picture's going, so that's fine. Something like that. We'll see how that ends up. Grab my cloth, my old tea towel. Make sure we get that pink out. And then we'll bring in our peach pie. And we'll do the same. And we'll add some water into there. Put water on there. Trying not to go over the same spot too many times because you get that pilling. But we might. I'll be all right. All right. I know it looks a mess, but trust me, it will be fine. As they say, trust the process. Today's went very similar, so I'm just going with it. Right. I want dark peach pie. Wrong end. Click over that. Wrong end. And dark melon mambo. I'm going to flick all over with the melon mambo. We've got some interest going on all over. Right, and then I need to dry that off a bit. So let's plug in my heat tool, which means I have to unplug my phone. I was saying earlier I need to get another way because I've got 4 plugs, but I'm using them all. But I need to see if I can sort my phone out so that it'll plug in to my laptop and heat that charge that way, and then I can have the other plug. And just give this a quick dry. It hasn't got to be perfect. That bit that's just quite wet. Come on. Right, that should be okay for now. We'll just leave that to one side and we'll do our heat embossing and our colouring of our camera. So I'm only going to do one of the large ones with it being on a page. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Up and a piece of watercolour, this one, and we're going to do this in pretty in pink because we've used the other two colours. So I want my embossing buddy to get rid of any static or any grease that's on my paper, and we'll do the other parts on here because they'll all fit on here, the other bits we need. Right. Grab our Versamark ink, trying to make sure we haven't got that glare. So we'll do our camera first. I had quite productive time after I came off this afternoon. I managed to get my card photographed and my pictures already, upload it onto YouTube, add my little icon to it, my little picture, also put it out on my social already. Tomorrow I think that goes out there, and that's all done. I photographed, no, it's Saturday that goes out, and then I photographed, I'm doing a monochromatic Insta hop tomorrow, so I photographed that and got all that done. So everything's ready to go. Right, I'll do this one and then do the others. Sprinkle our powder, tap off our excess. At least this time I haven't chucked it all over me like I did this afternoon. But I've got to say, I was doing what I was doing and I was happy as Larry. No one was in the house. And then I was like, right, I'll finish this and I'll have me something to eat, because I hadn't eaten since breakfast. And the next thing I know, Dale's coming home and it's like, oh my, like, I mean, he's finishing early. He does finish at 3:30. But it's like, yeah, where's the day gone? So that's our one piece for our front of our camera. And then we'll have the lens and the shutter. Making sure I don't go too close like I did today. Learnt my lesson from that, hopefully. Right, and we can... Good evening. Thank you for joining, Melanie. Hope you're well. We're just doing our scrapbook page using a colour combo that I was given today that I used on my lunchtime live to create a card. And it's Melon Mambo, Peach Pie and Pretty in Pink. And then we're using the Capturing Smiles bundle. So we're just going to heat emboss these our camera pieces on watercolour card. And the magic of that happening never ends, does it? I love heat embossing. Now I have to say the powder I'm using is a little bit older, and I use it mainly for images that I'm going to colour and things that I'm not particular about. If I'm doing writing, I use my new pot because this tends to leave some gaps. There we go. Right, unplug that. I'm going to plug my phone back in. Right, then we can colour these and then we'll die cut them after. They're pretty in pink. Can't squeeze these very well. And we'll add some water into our ink pad. I want to lift that up a bit, so we'll pop that under there. We'll do our large camera piece first. Bring it down slightly. I don't know if you'll be able to see with white on white too well anyway. Add some water. And then I'm using the wrong brush, but it's okay for this large piece. Just to put some colour down. And I'm just really roughly adding colour onto that, just so that there is some colour on it. Right, let's grab our smaller brush now. And then we can go in up to the edges. And I've said it many a times, I'm not a colouring expert at all. I love watercolour because it's very forgiving. And that's why I don't mind using my older embossing powder for this, because I haven't got a solid line. If it does go outside the line, I'm okay with that. Right, we're going to make this edge just a little bit darker. Just going over, adding a bit more ink to here. The middle's okay because that's covered. Right, then what I want to do is just grab a tiny block. And I'll grab some ink off there so it's more intense colour, just to colour some of these. Got too much water on my brush. Let's allow that to soak in a little bit over there. It's still got a lot of water on that. I'll do a bit of a dab. There we go. And we can pick some ink up. That's better. I'll just have a little bit of a darker, more intense colour on these bits, just to add a little bit of contrast. Right, grab some more ink. I'm going to miss Pretty in Pink when it goes. Don't you find? I do it very often. I'm not too fussed on a colour and I don't use it much, but then by the time it comes to it retiring, I'm like, oh, I really like that. I'm going to miss it. Just put a tiny bit in there, and then a little button or whatever it is there. Don't know exactly what they are. They're just to try and make it look a bit more like a camera, I think. A bit more in there. Not quite dark. But then if we just go along the bottom very lightly. I just want to dab there to remove some of that and go in with hardly any water at all into there. That's better. Right, I'm happy with that. Now we'll do our other bits. Now this again I want darker because it's layering on top. The shutter I'm not too fussed about. It's just so that it's not white. I just want it pink. And go straight into my ink. There we go. And then we'll go on here. As you can see, that's a more intense pink straight away. And I haven't put any water on here beforehand because I want to try and keep the colour quite intense. Or as intense as Pretty in Pink can be. It's not exactly a very intense colour, is it? Oh, come on. Bit of fluff. For those of you that may not know, I do have several cats and a dog. And they do come on my desk. The dog only comes on when I'm here for fuss. But yeah, they do come on my desk. So I do end up with cat hairs involved in everything I do. Just add in a little bit more down that corner, just so we've got a little bit of shading again. Oh, a bit of dark in there. And then some direct ink again. Yeah. There we go. Quicker than today, because we're only doing the one, not 3. I'll give that a wash and put that one. I'll put the lid on my water before I knock it over. And we'll just lift this back up again. There we go. Right, wipe that so I don't get my fingers in it, because I can be extremely messy. Oh, I need to give those a bit of time to dry before I die cut them. I'll just pop those to one side and we'll make a start on our background. Well, we've already made a start, but we'll do a bit more. Now I know that looks very bright, very messy, very intrusive, but trust me, I believe it'll work. Right, I want some Pretty in Pink strip. I'll grab and we'll use. I think we'll go lighter because of that being quite light. And then I just want to tear a strip off. Place down here. I'm going to glue that on. I'm just going to put glue down the solid edge and across the bottoms so that if I want to tuck anything in there, later, I can. And my mat's doing my head in because my desk isn't 100% flat and it keeps rocking and I can hear it. I can't feel it, but I can hear it. Right. So let's move that out the way. Okay, so we've got our strip there. And then I'm going to do some banners. So let's bring in a piece of peach pie. I'm going to use light peach pie. And I just want a banner that's say an inch. And do it the other way. We'll cut an inch strip. And maybe like 10 inches. And let's cut 2 inches off. I'll cut the banner on that in a moment. Then I want, let's go melon mambo. Let me go melon mambo on that one. Yeah. I have a melon mambo. And all this I'm using is 2-tone cardstock. We'll go dark on that. And we'll have that 3 inches. Got a 3-inch strip. And 8. So let's cut 4 off there. I can banner that in a moment. Sorry, lady, we'll have to go. I'm not feeling too. Oh, bless you. I hope you feel better soon, Mel. Thanks for popping on. And then I think we'll use a piece of Pretty in Pink. I want a 2-inch piece. This. Oh, that'll be just right on the light side. Let's go 2 inches on there. And then I want a thin piece of Secret C. So we'll do a 1 inch of that again. Wait, that way. Do 1 inch. On that. And if we do that at 9, we'll cut 3 off. There we go. Right. That's all the pieces of card and paper that I want, I believe, other than my mats from my photos, which we can sort those out shortly. So what I want to do now is some stamping. And I'm going to bring in the smaller camera and the heart. And we'll grab a couple of little blocks. Not too small. Yeah, one of them slightly larger and that one's too big. Let's take this one. Okay, and then I've got our colours. I need my chamois, which I've put somewhere under here. So I can be changing my colours. Now, the camera I am going to do in Secret C. And I'm just going to do some random stamping. Now, some of these will be hidden, and that's absolutely fine. That's what we want. Some will show. Right, that's okay with the camera. And I want heart. We'll go pretty in pink first. Around here. Like that. I'll add in some peach pie. I'll slightly move you up. You can't see, can you? Peach pie. And just a couple of peach pie. And about. You're not going to see that over there. That's better. All right. Loving it. Okay, now we can do these. And what I want to do with these is, as well as putting my banner end on them, which I use my trimmer for. So that's 3. So if I can line it up at 1.5 and then just do a cut up a little way, about an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. Pop that at half. I could probably do this one, to be fair, but I don't have the steadiest hand. And this one the same. And the last one, that's at 2 inches. Right. And we can just cut these and go straight up. And this one. So what's everybody been up to? Like I said, I went out for lunch with a friend yesterday. Had a lovely carvery. And then we went to a garden centre, but inside the polytunnels it was just way too hot. We were glad to get out there. Brought a couple of plants for my garden just to add a little bit of colour. I've missed that. Turn it over. It's easier. There we go. I'm going to do some stamping actually on here. Let's not play. Oh yes, you've been to see Ellie, haven't you? How lovely. On this one, I'm going to have a camera. I'm going to do Melon Mambo on Melon Mambo. And it's just to add a little bit of interest, that's all. Because most of it will be hidden. Sorry if you heard that music then. My husband is watching something on YouTube, I would say. And then I'm just going to get that photo up. I think the little, and just stamp that as well. Because it doesn't always have to be an image that we use to add interest. We can use words, shapes, everything. And sometimes words are just what you want. There we go, like that. Pop that away. Oh. And then clean those. Heart, photo op. I'm going to pop the photo op one back and grab the looking good. This is going to be a very busy page, I know. Oh dear, yes. I think the cat's telling me it's nearly time for tea. I'm going to leave the pretty in pink plain. So on here in Peach Pie, we'll have hearts and looking good. And then this way it'll all tie in with what we've stamped. So I doubt you'll see much of it anyway. Once everything's on. Oh, I want that one, don't I? Now, tomorrow I'm hoping to get my plants put in the garden. I'm hoping it's dry. And then, well, first of all, I've got a meeting in the morning and card and a cuppa with Emma online, which will be nice. And then outside do those. And I'm hoping it's nice enough to be able to sit outside a bit tomorrow. I did sit outside this morning. It was okay this morning, but then it cooled off. Right. Let's see where we can go from here. Glue. Put that one down there. Where I miss stamped just there, we can hide that. And then we'll have our melon mambo, which can go here. And that one's there and there. Yep, I'll pop this on. Secret C. And again, I don't put lots of glue on. There's not no need, because these only need to be just tacked down, really. Okay, let's move that over. That's that over there. There we go. Right, let's have a look at photo mats. So I'm going to use Secret C photo mats to make those pop. Actually, they're full card bases, aren't you? Yeah, they're full card bases. I'll leave those. And have a piece. I don't think I've got any in my scrap. Oh, this one might. Oh, that might be big enough for us. The 4x3 map, but it's not going to be over 6 now. But it is over 4. So we want 3 and an 1/8. We're going to have a little tiny border by 4 and an 1/8. Go in the bin, and that can go away. And then we'll cut a 4 and an 1/8 by 6 and an 1/8. Can go spare. Right, grab my photo placeholders, and again, oh no, that's lost its sticky. Grab a glue dot. Put that on there. But yeah, I think the Secret C is just a bit softer, isn't it, than a black? Sometimes black can be a bit harsh. I need a new blade. My trimmer. I was hoping to have my new ink colours and that to share with you today. It should have originally been here today. But when I checked, it says it hasn't cleared customs. It's stuck. But apparently it's going to be here by the end of the day tomorrow. But I don't believe that. Right, so the art will pop on there. So we're not going to see. Oh, it's hiding most of that, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do, chop it off. I know it's not straight, doesn't matter. We can pop this on. Without putting any glue towards the bottom. Put that where I want it, there. And then I can grab this end, put glue on, and match it up there. There we go. No one would ever know that it wasn't a complete fit. That looks a bit squint. Maybe not. Maybe it's me. It's equal there. Right, this one we're gonna have down here where all our hearts are. I'm just gonna put in the middle again in case I decide to put something behind it, like so. Right, now I want to get my camera on there before I do anything else. So have we dried? We're dried enough to be able to die cut these. And if I bring my larger machine, we can do it all in one. Let's chop that. Grab our die for that. a piece of washi. Line it up. And that, just to hold it in place. And then we can trim that down, add that to the bin, can go in the recycling. And we started our new, totally irrelevant really, but we started our new recycling this week. Throughout the Dudley Borough, it seems like it's a bit of a 50-50 hit and miss. Luckily for us, ours has gone smoothly. They collected what they said they would collect. But I know there's lots that they haven't collected their food. It should have been their food and whatever. And they haven't collected the food. They've collected the other bits. So yeah, there's a lot of people not happy, understandably. The last thing you want is a load of rotting food sitting about, isn't it? But yeah, luckily we're okay. Ours is mainly tea bags. We don't have a lot of food waste normally. Maybe if we've bought extra bread because I fancied a nice loaf, there'll be bread. But as a norm, we don't have a lot of food waste. Okay, we've got our camera base, our front panel, our lens, and the shutter. We'll get rid of all this rubbish and we'll build this. And I think I'm going to pop this flat. Now, I should have got my newsletter out today. It's not going to happen. I apologise. But the newsletter will be coming tomorrow. That's something I have got to do tomorrow. So if you aren't subscribed to my newsletter, the link is flashing across the screen below. Do subscribe. I say I do a monthly newsletter. It's not always monthly. Sometimes it's later than a month. I don't bombard you, that's for sure. But you can unsubscribe at any time. But I'll just let you know what's going on and the latest from my blog and YouTube channel. There we go. So we've got our camera fixed together. I love that little camera. I've been using this month, this bundle, and it's just a camera. But you know what? I love it. I really do. Right. Let's bring our page back. And we can have our camera here. Because I don't like this where it got majorly wet. It doesn't look right. So I'm going to add my camera over that. And that's the beauty of creating our own things. Because when they go wrong, we can put them right. What is it? There's no mistakes, just an opportunity for an embellishment. Here we go. This is our embellishment over that. It just goes to show that, You don't have to be an artist, you don't have to be perfect. Just go for it, blob some colour down, and then mix it about till it works. Okay, right, we want a title, and I want a couple of little just things, sticky things. If I use this and die cut these out in different colour, we can have those poking just to add a little bit of extra texture. So let's bring in our mini machine, and I think we'll grab some melon mambo for the brightness. I should have some melon mambo offcuts here. I'm not worried about them being the exact right size for it. If it goes off, that's fine. But it won't. It's not as long as I thought it was. But I'll end up cutting them and putting them top and bottom of things anyway, some of them. Possibly. And then we've got some nice squares that we can use for something. And in fact, if I get a chance, I know exactly what I'm going to use those for. Hopefully I'll get a chance at some point tomorrow or Saturday to do something with those. What? I know, yes. That's very loud. I'm just poking all the bits out before I do another one, because it's starting to clog up my die. I'm doing it over my bin so that I don't get them everywhere. All right, some more of those. And then I think we've got 2 melon mambo. We ought to have a peach pie one. I've got none in there, so I've got some here, I believe. Somewhere I have. There we go. I have that many packets. Oh, sorry, I've just knocked you. Can use this. Paper and card. No, okay. That many packets of paper and card out on the side. It's ridiculous. But because I keep my two-tone up the top, save me keep getting up and down while I'm live, I bring what colours I think I might need down. And my cardstock's all there as well. So it soon fills the space. Wipe the bits off. I like to make sure that the stuff's ready to be used straight away. Move those. That's rubbish. I'll have some more of those. There we go. Just gonna get the bits out. I should use my brush, but I tend to use my pokey tool. Right. Keep my squares. Right, let's bring this back. And I think we need one of those up there. We don't want it overly large. So we'll chop that there. Oh, come on. And then because I don't go right to the top. No, up there. No, up there. With my glue. It means I can pop them in just below, just behind. Okay, and then I think we can have one there like that. So we'll put that And what I do is afterwards, once I'm done, I just go around and put little bobs of glue underneath all the ends. These I won't, these I shall leave, but these I shall, so that I know my photos are stuck well. And then maybe a bit of that one sticking out there. Actually, I quite like that with it going like that under. I don't need to cut it. This glue will last. Okay, so that under there, but over the top of my mat. So but it will be underneath the photo. I could have left it so that the photo could have gone under it, but that's liable to get broken with it being quite flimsy. So we'll have it that way. Right, so now I do want my title. And I'm loving this Captured Life's Moments. And I am just going to stamp it on. I know normally we have our titles die cut or whatever. Captured Life's, could have everyday moments. Captured Life's everyday. Let's have a look what that looks like. It looks something like that, or we could just have Captured Life's Moments. Do you know what? I know it's 4. And we're supposed to keep things odd, but we've got 2 pictures on. I'm quite liking that. Captured Life's everyday moments. And then I can just have an everyday moment. Don't need no explanation, no anything. And I'm going to do a captured in, I think I'm going to do them different colours. Captured to draw your attention in Melon Mambo. Or should I go dark to light? Yes. We'll go a gradient, dark to light. Now this is quite away from me and it's not flat, so I'm going to just go for it. That's okay. Can deal with that. Captured. I've got, what blocks have I got? I've only got big ones. Take that off there. Those are clean, so I can use them. Lights. That's clean. I clean that. I don't think that's not quite big enough. Oh, slightly bigger one. Every day. I just want to just see how bright. Yeah. Capture lights. Everyday moments, which we'll do in pale pink. No, in pretty in pink. And then we just need some bling on here. How bright is that? Is it going to be seen? I'm wondering if I should go back to Secret C. No, go with it. There we go. Fabulous. I think so anyway. Right, let's find some bling to go on here. What have I got in my last chance box? Because, you know, may as well use them before they're gone. Oh, those are nice pink in there. I think I've got actual pretty in pink or melon mambo, peach pie. That's pretty in pink. Those are petunia pop. And those are night of navy, but I could almost get away with them being Secret C. I should have some in colour. I have got some Secret C. They won't exactly go, will they? I'll mix and match the two different ones. So let's put some of these on and see if we pop some of the pretty in pink on. We can have a one. Quite like having two and a one. And if we went a little one of these, just a little bit out. I'm into these three clumps of three at the moment. And then we can have around here, there, yeah. Maybe quite fancy there. A one, a two, and a three. And then you can't see that online, can you? But there's a two there. And then down here we'll have under there one, two. It's a bit close. Oh, I don't know if I can get that off. That's better. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And I think we are there. Let's pop that back because that's our last chance. I'm making the most of using everything out my last chance. Right, let's have a bit of a tidy. And then we can see where we're at. Those can stay there. My lid for that is there. If I push those up, I can bring that up. And there we are. We've got our page using our 3 colours and our card as inspiration for what to do this evening. Yeah, I think that's quite nice. Very vibrant, very in your face. But yeah, not colours I'd have chose myself to put together, but they work and they work really well. And that's the good thing about having Stampin' Up's colour coach, because it gives you the colours. It gives you each colour. It gives you 3 choices of 3 colours that go together. I think it's great. I use it lots. If you don't have one, you're not a demonstrator and you would like one, do get in touch. Demonstrators, they're in the print lab. Go and print one of those out. And I just got pocket pages and a folder and just pop them in. As you can see, I haven't done it up to date yet. I put last year's in colours in, but I haven't cut the card out yet. I always put a piece of card in so that I know what colour it is. But when I come to do these ones, I'll update it. I haven't even got a piece of basic beige in there. Thank you, Michelle. So yeah, it's a real good resource to have, especially when you're stuck and you're like, what shall I do? Just go there, pick a colour combo out and get going. Right, I'm going to hop off. It's time for a cup of tea. I have talked too much. So yeah, I need a cup of tea. Hubby needs to come back into the lounge, I expect, because he'll be getting ready to feed the cats. So yeah, let's flick our camera and I'll say thank you very much for joining me. It's been a lovely evening. I've really enjoyed creating. It's nice to have someone to talk to. You know, I create alone, which is fine, but it's just nice to be able to chit chat rather than just talking to myself, because I do that normally when I'm crafting. But yeah, thanks very much. Have a lovely weekend and I shall see you all next week. Thanks again. Bye.